Ladies, gentlemen, and cat lovers, welcome. We're here to another Christmas live stream. We are doing a daily stream every single day in December. For those of you who are maybe a little bit lonely over the Christmas period, maybe you're not lonely, but you just want some free coaching. Maybe you want to hang out with the community. Maybe you just like cats. Welcome. It's me. Hello. Mr. 3447 says, no, I am not first. Correct. I was first. Daddy was here first. Maybe I should wait for tomorrow and try again to be first. You can, but I will probably be there before you. Xander, welcome, my brother, says third. Correct. You were third. ECC, asking the big questions that really matter, I see. Would you rather fight 50 duck-sized Mother Teresas, so they'd be tiny, or one horse-sized Byron Katie? I'd take the ducks, the little ones. What are they going to do? Like flap at me? Like, plus she was already a midget anyway, and she was bent over. So a little tiny bent over Mother Teresa, even 50 of them, wouldn't be able to do much damage. Asking the big questions, like I said, I really appreciate these questions. Definitely not feeling insulted that you keep bringing Mother Teresa and Byron Katie, my two favorite women, up and asking me to fight them. Pednix says, waiting hard. You were, man. I'm glad that you were hard while you were waiting. Mortis says, aye. Hello, brother. And ECC says, adding to my question about the duck-sized Mother Teresas or the horse-sized Byron Katie, both are mind-controlled to fight you to the death. So peace and love is... Then they're not Mother Teresa and they're not Byron Katie. So there you go. They'd just be poor clones of them. Mr. 3447, if you would like to come on, you are very welcome to come on the stream. We can chuck you on now if you want. I can put a link in the chat. Guys, I will say this link is only for Mr. 3447. I am really, really, really tired, if I'm honest. I'm a little burnt out from coaching, if I can be honest with you guys. I've been crazy busy lately with tons of extra coaching calls, like more than I would normally do, which I'm very grateful for. You know, it's more money, more opportunities to help people. I like connecting with people. I'm just a little tired. So I think we'll do maybe one person on stream today. Like we'll let one of you come on. We'll let Mr. 3447 come on and we'll give him a little bit of love, a little bit of coaching. And then for the rest of the stream, I'll just answer your questions like normal. So Mr. 3447, there you go. There's a link. You're very welcome to jump on with us, brother. And we can talk through your question here, where you said you're a little surprised about how unkind you are to yourself and how much fear you have of success. Mike, hello, brother. You say, I'm a mod. So yesterday at the end of the stream, I made a little joke towards you and I said, I'm going to put you in timeout. But I think I accidentally clicked ban. And then I can't see a way to unban someone from YouTube. The only solution I could come up with was to make you a moderator. So congrats, man. Now you're a mod. At least we can see your comments now. Yeah. Xander says, people talk so much about being on your deathbed, wondering what might have happened if only you tried. But they don't talk about being on your deathbed knowing that you did try and failed. Yeah, but there is no failure, man. Like, if you tried your hardest and you didn't get the outcome that you wanted, well, we just call that outcome dependence, and you can work on letting go of that attachment. But to know that you at least gave it a go fills you with so much less regret because you're like, at least I fucking tried. Mr. 3447, you say, I have no cam. Is that okay? Yes, I have no cam and I must scream. Very okay to have no cam. Mike says, now I got to act all responsible in here. Do I act responsible, brother? Have you ever seen me act responsible? You're fine, dude. Just don't type some wild stuff about Hitler and Nazis, and then you'll be good. I mean, you can type wild stuff about Hitler and Nazis if you want to. I might just take away your moderator privileges. Mortis says, oh shit, I remember once answering these too. Is it okay if I post my answers here just so I can share? Hell yeah, brother. You guys are always welcome. I say this a lot. You're welcome to share literally anything you want on this stream, as long as it's not some like wild, illegal stuff. But type anything you want to type in, share anything you want to share. You guys can email me stuff if you have like pictures or something you want me to show off on stream. You can just email me at andy@killyourinnerloser.com. I can keep you anonymous. Like I won't show off your email address or your name or anything. But yeah, anything you guys want to share, you can. Mike says, I have no mouth and I must scream. Yeah, brother. I know. What a wild story. So for any of you who don't know, there's this like short story called I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. Definitely a horror story. And for someone who doesn't really like horror, like me, yeah, that was like a wild story. But I think about that all the time. That lives rent free in my head. All right, Mr. 3447. I'm assuming you're ready now, my brother. I can see you here in the back end, in my back end. Let me pull your question back up again and we will have a little chat if you are ready, brother. Hello, my friend. You are live.
Hello, Andy. You hear me?
Hello. I can.
How are you doing, my friend?
I am good. You have a very cool accent.
Yeah, it is from Costa Rica.
Oh, hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah. There's like tons of Costa Ricans and like Argentinians and Brazilians and like people from South America where I live. And they always play volleyball on the beach.
Really?
Like South, yeah, it's like a South American thing, like Southern American, South American. You know what I
Yeah, I
mean?
thought soccer was more popular than volleyball. But yeah,
Yeah, but you got
volleyball
to
is
call it
kind of
call it the
popular here
proper
too.
name. Call it the proper name, bro. Don't call it soccer. You don't have to stoop down to that level. Come on.
Football.
There you go. Football. Hell
There
yeah,
you
brother.
go.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for the opportunity, Andy.
Yeah, man. Do you want to talk a little bit about, you said you answered some of the questions in the hopeless and helpless article and you feel like you're a little bit unkind to yourself. You want to sort of dive into that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, actually, I read the article
Hmm.
and answered the 5 questions. I actually have one page here um, on Word with the answers of the questions.
Hmm.
I don't know if you want to go like 1, 2, 3 for every answer or every question. I mean, or if you have like some specific question or something that you wanna talk about.
Dude, why don't you read out like maybe the first answer and we can play around with that. While you start doing that, give me
Hmm.
1 second. I'm going to pull the article up on screen. So you're talking about, you know how there's the dot points and there's like 15 or 20 questions or something in there? Is that
Yes,
what you
and
mean?
there's no, there is also a video with 5 questions on the article right at the
Oh shit.
bottom.
Okay, 5 questions to ask yourself. Okay.
Yes, those five
I
questions.
can't I can't remember what the questions are. I only know what's in the article. Um uh, yeah, there's no timestamps either. What were the questions? What was the first question that I
Okay,
get you
the
guys to
the
ask?
first question is what am I avoiding?
Oh,
And
that's a fucking good question. Where did I
yes,
get that from? What the hell?
I don't know. um, okay, so for that first question, uh, okay, first of all, I want to say that the thing that I feel the most lost with is how do I say it? Okay, let's start at the beginning.
Hmm.
A little bit before uh, 2020, well, I had a job and all the stuff. I left my job because I wanted to pursue business and maybe um, do a little bit of talking to women and stuff. Um, why do I feel lost right now? Because I felt I feel that I'm working towards those goals, but maybe not going all in, and
Mm,
maybe having small successes, not that much. The thing the thing I wanted to do for business is drawing. I like to draw.
mhm.
Uh, I believe I'm pretty good at it, and yeah, that's basically it. So for the first question, I think well, my answer is I am avoiding being true to myself and going all in with my goals, with my dreams, with my art, travel and dating and all this stuff. I
Mhm.
also believe that I am avoiding leaving the comfort zone,
Mm.
and also I'm a bit afraid of success. And I have one example here. The Well, when I was a teenager, I was doing taekwondo, and I did it for a lot of years. And I was basically just one test away from getting the black belt, but I got an injury,
Mhm.
and I said, it is not worth anymore. I am injured. I cannot perform. I'm not as good as before. So why do it? Why complete this? I should just leave it and do something else. That's one example.
All right, let's go to number 2. Like I want to hear each of your answers for all of this, and then I want to, talk through and give you a bit of advice at the end.
All right.
So number
The number
2,
two.
what
Number
story
two.
am I
Yes.
telling myself?
Okay. I'm telling myself many things, so I'm going a bit fast. First of all, I've been doing a lot of stuff, but I don't have that much success as I wanted, or I haven't changed as much as I wanted. For example, I'm still living with my parents. I'm still depending economically on my father.
Hmm.
So, like, I tell myself that changing is maybe too hard for me, or that I'm just default to doing the same routine as every day. I
Hmm.
feel that my efforts are going nowhere, that I'm trying just to save a sunken ship, and then maybe I should reconsider all the things I'm doing and do something else or abandoning, I don't know.
Hmm.
And also another thing that I tell myself is that the problem is that I'm trying to do something maybe unconventional, like trying to make money with drawing and stuff. Um, and maybe if I just follow a normal life, a normal um, things like studying, getting a degree, getting a job, and all those stuff. And maybe that will work because what I'm trying to do is something that only works for a tiny percentage of people, and maybe I'm not one of those people.
Hmm.
And even if I have some small successes here and there, I'm still far from when I want to be. And yeah, for example, even if I get good and stuff, I mentioned in the chat many times that I was kind of afraid of AI and all the other so advances. I am not that afraid anymore of that,
Hmm.
luckily. Um, but yeah, it is still a thing, right? Yeah, basically, that maybe I get distracted a lot. I cannot commit to the plans or dreams that I have, or maybe I was kind of a stupid for trying to be special and not following the normal things
Hmm.
and getting a job, house, kids and stuff. Yeah, that's basically part of the story that I tell myself.
Okay, before we move on to the next question, I'm going
Hmm.
to teach you, and I'll teach all of you listening, a method that will help you start to break down or break through some of your stories. Because when we have a story in our head, like a belief,
Hmm.
we have no choice but to believe it unless we start to question it and see if it's even true. And so, like, you'll have a negative thought in your head that says, I shouldn't do my art because it's stupid and you can't make money from it. Your brain will just believe the bullshit that it's saying. Like, our brains are very self believing. What I mean by that is, like I said, your brain will have a thought and it will just automatically assume that it's true, which is so unbelievably arrogant and funny if you think about it. Like, what a fucking funny thing to realize that we all do. Our brain just has a negative thought and we go, well, that must be true.
Yeah.
Why is it true? Because it's in my head. And you're like, that literally doesn't make any sense. You have no evidence for it, or you'll come up with evidence, but the evidence is like really shit. And then you don't test it to see, like, well, is there evidence that the opposite could be true? You're just like, nope, there's a thought in my head, and I found a couple of pieces of evidence, so it's definitely true. And then we just move on to the next thought. And our brains
Hmm.
believe literally thousands of things when we sometimes have very little proof, or the proof is just like really, really, really shit.
Yes.
And so I'm going to teach you this method to sort of go through each one of these stories. So let's just maybe pick one story. I'd love to do more with you, but like
Yeah.
we'll keep
Time.
it to just one. Let's pick the story of, like, how about we do this one? You said I'm trying to do something unconventional by making money with my drawing and my art, right?
Hmm.
Let's start asking if that's even true. Your brain has an assumption there that art and making money from drawing is unconventional.
Yes.
Let's see if that's even true. We could find tons of evidence that, like, yeah, that is a bit unconventional because most people work in an office or they work in a cafe or they work in a normal job. But the opposite might also be true, that maybe this isn't that unconventional. Maybe it's actually fucking incredibly boring. I can't think of a better word, but fucking boring. You're like, wow, I want to be an artist. And everyone's like, cool, man. Like, there's like 10 million artists. Like, great, go be an artist. And so, what I would
Mhm.
do, man, we can do a little bit of this right now if you want to.
Yes.
Can you see the stream like as we're talking?
Uh,
Like, do you have the
I'm seeing
stream
the
open in
stream.
the
I'm
background?
seeing you. Yes.
Okay,
Okay,
good.
I
I'm
can see it.
fucking handsome, aren't I, dude? God damn it.
Yes, you are.
What the fuck,
I
man?
love you.
Thanks, bro. So are you. I can't even fucking see it. Love you too, brother. All right, so on the screen, wait, let me get my window. There we go. Okay.
Okay.
So we're gonna go through and we're just gonna find, like, we're gonna just Google and find some people who've made a fucking living from art, so you can see that it's
Hmm.
not like some unconventional weird thing. So this is one of my favorite artists. His name is Jazza, and he
Yeah.
has 6.7 million followers on YouTube. So I would definitely call that a successful artist. And when he started, he kind of fucking sucked at art. In fact, he's pretty like open. I mean, he didn't suck, but like he's probably about as good as you.
Hmm.
Like these are his oldest videos, and he was just like doing little sketches and shit. Like, and he had a shitty webcam. And these are the first videos that he made where he's just like, hey, I'm going to sketch. Like, look at that shitty webcam down in the bottom right hand corner.
Hmm.
And he's just sketching. He's just drawing some like okay drawings and some sketches. And all he has done is been really, really popular over the year, like, sorry, really, really consistent over the years and just drawn a lot. And he's tried a whole bunch of different things. And part of what I like about his channel is that he doesn't expect himself to be perfect and he will just try weird shit. He will play around with different mediums. He will try painting. He will try drawing. He'll try painting while blindfolded. He'll try mediums that he has no experience in, like he did sand art, like making sand castles and sand sculptures and stuff like that. And he'll just try things and he will specifically show you how much he fucks up and how he
Hmm.
makes mistakes and how it doesn't go the way that he wants it to, but he just doesn't care. He tries anyway. So he is my favorite example. Yeah, he's just one person, but
Hmm.
if one person can do something, literally, if one person can succeed, you can too. There's
Yeah.
also a book on this. Let me find it for you. It's called like We Need Your Art. Grab a copy of this book if you want, man. This book here. I think there's an audio book of it as well. It's just called We Need Your Art. Stop messing around and make something. And it is a
Hmm.
woman who's an artist who did all the same shit as you. She's like, but art isn't a real job. You know, it's unconventional. It doesn't deserve respect. Like
Yeah.
all of
Exactly.
that. This this book is about limiting beliefs. That is the point of this book. She's like, stop fucking around and saying that art doesn't count. And she gives this really beautiful speech at the start of the book where she's like, do you know how much art and just, I guess, culture in general has shaped the entire world for the last like fucking 20,000 years? Like since cavemen days and shit, we've been drawing art in the cave. Like art is such an important part of humanity and human
Hmm.
culture. And to say like it's unconventional, it's like, dude, it might be like the oldest hobby or job that anyone has ever fucking had. There were people that used to draw cave paintings, and that was a highly regarded, like, important part of the tribe because we need to write down this shit for future generations. And the best we can do is paint it on a wall. We haven't figured out language or words yet. So let's just draw some shit on the wall. And if you were the one who was drawing, that was its
Hmm.
own fucking highly regarded thing, man. Like that was a big part of the tribe. That wasn't just some like stupid little unconventional hobby. And so it's funny that you say this is like an unconventional job that I don't know if, you know, I can make money in it. It's like, what are you talking about? This is like maybe the oldest job right up there with like prostitution.
Yeah. The funny thing is that even if you have some examples of people that did it, sometimes you say, or maybe because their stars align for them, or you know, or maybe they did something you haven't found like the formula or the perfect thing, you know, or something that also happens is that you have an example or something that questions your beliefs, and you say, yeah, maybe I'm just stupid for thinking that way. And but 1 week passes or 2 week passes, and you just default to the beliefs you had before.
Hmm.
That's something that
Yeah.
happens to me frequently.
Yeah, of course, because we're creatures of habit and our brain wants to cling on to its stories because they're safe.
Hmm.
And, before you said maybe these other artists are lucky, or maybe like Jazza, they just did 1.5 thousand videos.
Hmm.
And you don't have to do 1.5 thousand videos, but Jazza would be the first. He's very honest, and I've followed him for years. He's been doing YouTube videos for like 13 years, and I've watched him for most of that. He is the first person to tell you that he's not an amazing artist. Like he's good now, but he wasn't at the start. He's not super confident and courageous and great on camera. He is now, but he wasn't like that at the start at all. He fucking sucked. He would be the first person to tell you. I just kind of showed up a lot. I've said this a lot myself. I did a video on my channel recently about this. It was literally called something like "Stop Calling Me a Good Coach."
Oh yeah.
It'll be here somewhere. And I literally said, I'm not a good coach. I'm just consistent. I'm not great at YouTube. Here, this one here. Stop calling me the
Hmm.
best coach. You're the one doing the hard work. I literally said all I've done is just show up for the last few years. I've just
Hmm.
made videos for you guys. That's it. I'm not good at this. I'm not definitely not the best. I'm not the best content creator that you guys will ever find. I'm definitely not the best coach that you guys could ever pay money to. Like, I don't pretend to be. I'd be lying if I told you that. I'm
Hmm.
just consistent. And I think you're missing the very first, or you're afraid of the very first ingredient, which is humility and admitting that you might suck at this. You might not
Hmm.
succeed as an artist, but it's fucking fun. And the person who really likes art just does art. Doesn't matter
That's
if
true.
it succeeds. I know you want it to, but
Hmm.
it will if you're passionate about it and if you just do it for long enough. I went through all of this with Emmy, my ex,
Hmm.
because she used to hate her art and she always wanted to make money from art. But everything you're saying, man, she could relate to. She literally
Hmm.
said, like, art is not a real, job and it's stupid and like all of that shit, right?
Yes.
And I just gently encouraged her for years, like, look, if you really like art, why don't you just do more art? And I got her to do a 365-day project. So she did a piece of art every day. And she eventually went on to win like a $6,000 art prize. And then she won another art prize for like $500. And she won a few more prizes. And then eventually she became an art teacher. And she was literally
Mm.
teaching children how to do art like a couple of times a week. And so all of that stuff really fucking helped. But this is just like baby steps, man. Like everything that you're talking about is incredibly normal.
Hmm.
You think it's just you, but like literally everything I wrote down, like I was taking notes while you were talking.
Hmm.
You said I haven't changed as much as I've wanted. Yeah, that's like most people in society. Changing is too hard for me. That's how most people feel. My efforts are going nowhere. That's how most people feel. There's a quote: the mass of men lead lives of quiet desperation. They're like quietly desperate for a better life, but they don't know how to change. They don't know what to do. You said, I'm trying to save a sunken ship, as in, I feel like it's too late for me. That's how most people feel. I'm doing something unconventional. I'm not being normal. It's like, yeah, that's how most people feel. Even if I have a small success, I'm still so far from where I want to be. Yeah, that's why I talk about celebrating your wins, appreciating every step of the journey, having like friends or a coach or this community or whatever, like people that can celebrate with you every step. I know you said you're not afraid of it anymore, but like you saying I'm afraid of AI. Yeah, do you know how many fucking hundreds of people have told me that over the last like 3 years? And I'm just like, chill
Yeah.
the fuck out. Even if AI kills all of us, then great. Like we had a nice life. Let's fucking just go down in flames. Who gives a fuck? Like calm down. Everything's okay. And you said,
Yeah,
I feel
I'm
like I'm being. Yeah,
I'm way
go
more
go.
calm right now, fortunately.
Yeah, yeah. And you said I'm afraid that I'm being stupid for trying to be special and not just doing the normal like things in life. I
Hmm.
don't know if you've seen it yet, but I did a 3-part series. I'll show it here on the screen. Just search on my YouTube channel for the word rules. And I did this 3-part series called I Broke All the Rules. There's part one, there's part two, there's part three. So just search for rules on my
Hmm.
channel. And I literally talked about like there's timestamps in each video so you can like find the parts that are relevant. But I literally talked about all the different areas of life that everyone else just does to be normal. And I was like, I think I want to go and do my own thing, but I feel stupid. I feel like, who the fuck am I to
Yeah.
be doing this? I'm not special. Like, why am I thinking I'm special? And it's taken me a lot of years, man, like probably like 15 or 20 years to now be at a point where my life is definitely not conventional. Like,
Hmm.
I love my life. It's beautiful. But I don't think anyone would look at my life and be like, that's conventional. Like I sleep with multiple women and I tell them about each other and we have threesomes together, although I haven't had one recently, but working towards that. I talk about
Hmm.
my sex life on the internet. I work from home and I can travel wherever the fuck I want. I coach you guys on sex and relationships, and there's pictures of my fucking penis all over the internet. And like I wake up and work whenever the hell I want. Like everything that I'm doing in my life is probably not super conventional. And it's taken me a long time to get to this point, man, because each time, just like you, I have gone through all the stories in my head, the stories that say, I'm not good enough at this. Who the fuck am I to think I can coach other people? I shouldn't be doing something like this. I don't have a degree. Do you know how many times I used to think that? Like, why am I
Yes.
giving therapy to people? I don't have a degree. I've even had people over the years like be like, where's your degree? And I'm like, what? I don't have one. Who the fuck am I to be charging more than a trained therapist? Like, I've had more limiting beliefs than you can ever imagine. In
Hmm.
fact, there are like several videos on my channel about this. If you just search for the word doubt, or I think maybe the most relevant one is called like, I think it's called Let the Record Show I Was Never Confident. See if I can find it for you. But maybe just search my channel for, yeah, this one here.
Hmm.
Let the record show that I was never confident. And I literally say, like, guys, like some of you, and especially you, some of you think that like you have to be fucking confident and believe in yourself and not have limiting beliefs to do this shit. It's like, fuck no, man.
Hmm.
Like everything you're saying here, like I have literally, dude, so many times just gotten out a big piece of paper and said, let me write down every single story that's in my head, every limiting belief, every doubt. And by the time I am literally on the third page, like I have literally written down hundreds of negative thoughts or limiting beliefs. By the time I'm on the third page, I just feel fucking exhausted. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe all this shit's in my head. And then I've still succeeded anyway. And I haven't let go of all of those limiting beliefs, not even close to it. I haven't worked through every single one of them. I've just worked through some of them. And then I've also taken some action. You don't
Hmm.
have to fix all the thoughts in your head, man. Like all the thoughts that you have in there right now are
Hmm.
allowed to stay exactly as they are. And then you just also do 5 minutes of art every day or most days. Like
Okay.
this isn't about fixing your head at all. Like,
Hmm.
is art the thing that you really want to do?
Yes.
Is it the thing that brings you joy? Okay, what if
Yeah,
you just do like
that is one of the
1 minute
things
a
that
day?
I really want to do. Um, that is why I say it in, I think for for the number one question, that one of the things that I am afraid of is like being more true to myself and being more true
Mm.
to the goals I have, and, and not having to even care what others think or what they have to say about how do you live your life and stuff, you know, or
You're
maybe
very
a
much
little bit
allowed.
afraid of success too.
You're very much allowed to care what others think. Just also do
Hmm.
some art.
Hmm.
But I have an article on this as well called 10 Ways to Build an I Don't Give a Fuck Attitude. How to let go of other people's opinions. I'll put it there in the chat, man. I've just put it in the chat to you.
Okay.
Or you can go to killyourinnerloser.com/IDGAF, which stands for
Hmm.
I don't give a fuck. And so I've got a bunch of exercises and meditations and stuff on here. Like I don't need other people's approvals. I'm going to focus on my own path. Can I let go of people pleasing? And these are exercises, like I explain it in this article, like actually do these exercises. Don't just like read the article. But
Hmm.
this is a process, man. Like you don't just like wake up one day and be like, I don't give a fuck what anyone else thinks. Like it's taken me the better part of 10 years, man. And that's why I say while you work on this, I would also be doing some art. Like
Okay.
a lot of you guys, a lot of us think that we have to get rid of our limiting beliefs and then we'll take action. And it's like, no, no, like
It's the other
work
way
through your
around.
limiting. Yeah, brother. It's like work through your limiting beliefs while you do art. Like you're going to literally think my art sucks and I shouldn't be doing this. And what's even the point? All right, where's my piece of paper? Where's my pen? And you'll just like be doing it while you think you shouldn't be doing it. Like
Hmm.
again, especially for the first like okay, if I'm honest, the first 4 or 5 years of me building my YouTube channel, my blog, and my coaching, for the first 4 or 5 years, I was like, what the fuck am I doing? I have no right to be doing this. I shouldn't be doing this. This is stupid. This is never going to work. I'm never going to make this work. I can't actually help people. I'm a bad coach. I'm a fraud. I was just thinking that constantly while literally helping like hundreds of people and people going like, oh my God, I can't believe how much you changed my life. And I was like, yeah, he's just saying that to be nice, or that's just one guy. That doesn't count.
Hmm.
It took like the better part of like maybe until just recently, like let's say the last year or two, where I'm like, hey, I think I'm actually pretty decent at this coaching thing. I think I have
No.
enough evidence now. Like literally at this point, I don't know, 1,000 fucking emails from people saying like, "Oh my God, dude," and comments and like coaching clients, and like it's such an overwhelming amount of evidence that now my brain has no choice but to just shut the fuck up and be like, "Okay, fine, I can't argue anymore." And so
Mhm.
often you don't even believe in yourself until years after you have been succeeding. There's something
Mhm.
called imposter syndrome, but that often lasts so long that you're literally already like you might already be building a successful art business and be working full time as an artist, and you'll be like, I can't do this.
Mhm.
Like my ex Emmy won, like I said, a $6,000 art prize, and all she had to say about that was, "I don't think I deserve this." I don't, and it's like, bitch,
Yeah, sometimes I feel like that.
what? Yeah, yeah, and that's so unbelievably normal, man. And what I was gonna say is exactly what Bill Ging, I can never pronounce half of these usernames, dude. Bill Gingus said, maybe to keep yourself accountable, what if you share your art during these live streams? Yeah. I was going to say that to you at the end of our conversation. It's like, why don't you
Mhm.
draw something and email it to me and I'll share it on the stream? It doesn't have to be good at all.
Mhm.
Like, none of us
Okay.
expect it to be good. But what if, like, while we talk today, you just draw something? Like, I'm going to be here for another, I don't know, hour, maybe an hour and a half.
Mhm.
Just draw something. Like, Expert Cheek Clapper has drawn art and sent it to me.
Okay. Maybe I
I've had
could. Well,
plenty of
maybe
other
not.
people.
I will send some artwork to your email tomorrow.
Yeah, dude.
Um,
Why
I
not
I
today?
want to show my art, but
Why
I
not
don't
today?
think it. I don't think it is safe for YouTube.
Oh, okay. Oh, I get you. Okay. Okay.
So
My man over
I
here
have
is
to draw
drawing some
something that is safe
furries.
for.
He's drawing what do they call it? YIF. YIF. Does anyone in the chat know what YIF is?
Yeah.
Everyone in
So
the chat knows
I,
what
I
that
will
is.
I will show it. Maybe I will do something. No, maybe not. I will do something today that is
Beautiful,
that I
man.
can
Yeah, just
show on the
draw while
stream.
you're listening, dude.
Hmm.
And look at this. Chad. Chad has literally said, if you send one of your art pieces, then I will send one of mine to Andy as well. Also, Chad, no, we've just had a big long conversation about courage and shit. No, Chad, you send yours first. Be courageous, all right? Come on, brother. But yeah, man, like
Okay.
everything you said, like thank you for sharing all your vulnerabilities and your fears and all of that
Hmm.
shit. But like honestly, man, if there's one thing I've learned from years of coaching and doing all of this shit is like you really
Hmm.
don't have to fix all of your limiting beliefs. Like you just don't.
Hmm.
Like, and I don't even know how we would do that. Like, because you have so many. You have literally thousands of them.
That is
And
true.
and you don't have any proof that you can make it as an artist. And so how am I going to convince you that you can make it as an artist if you haven't done it yet? Like, even
Mm.
if I could get in your brain and turn you into the most positive person ever, there would still be a little voice in the back of your head that would say, like, yeah, but if it's so easy, how come I haven't even done it yet? Like, you'd feel
Mhm.
like a liar. And so
Mhm.
part of this process is like you just start doing the art. I heard it
Mhm.
said, I don't know who said it, but if you want to be a writer, then write. If you want to be an artist, then do art. If you want to be a photographer, then take photos. If you want to be a coach, then coach people. Like if you want to be the thing, then you just do the thing. Like
Mhm.
doing the thing is how you become it. And so the answer here, man, is just like start doing some art, dude.
Okay. Um, Thank you, Andy. And
Yeah, bro.
I don't know if you want to go to the other questions or
Let's do the
or
other
if time
questions
is up.
another day. Yeah, let's do the questions another day
Mhm.
because I don't want to hit you with a whole bunch of information because that
Well,
literally goes against what I just said.
I can give you a like a short summary of them because I didn't really write that much for the other questions because basically,
If you can do it in 1 minute, then
yeah,
I'll
I
say
can.
yes.
The
Okay, do it. Go.
the
Go.
the summary basically is that maybe I'm not being kind to myself. I'm not celebrating my successes, and maybe I work hard for 1 week, and then the other 3 weeks of the month I'm slacking off, and that's basically it. That's basically a summary. I'm not being kind to myself. Maybe asking for help has been kind of difficult for me. But here I am, and I'm very grateful that you took the time to have a conversation with me, Andy.
So before you leave,
Hmm.
you're not being true. You're not being kind to yourself.
Hmm.
Is that true?
I don't know. Sometimes I am. I think right now I am being way more kind to myself than before. But I'm really not sure.
Can you think of 3 pieces of evidence
Hmm.
that you are being kind to yourself?
Well, the very first one is that I am here.
Yeah.
The second one is that after all, I'm still trying to move forward,
Yep.
and that even if I don't want to admit it, even if I think I have um, disadvantages or these disadvantages, it doesn't matter because I was able to have some successes in life, and that is worth celebrating. And,
Hmm.
and I think it that way is being kind to myself.
One more. Like
One
one more
more.
piece of evidence. Yep. Yep. Do one more. Why not?
I, I don't know. Let me think. I really don't know what to say.
When
My
you
mind is.
did, you said like sometimes I'm productive for a week and then not for 3 weeks. So is
Mhm.
being productive and putting yourself first and working on the things you care about for a week, is that a kindness to yourself?
Yes, yes. And
When you
taking the time to practice and stuff. That's also good.
you already you already kind of said this one, but when you're really struggling, do you ask for help?
I rarely do.
Can you think of a single example where you've ever asked for help?
Well, with my drawings or with my art career.
With anything, with any,
Yes.
you said
No,
I'm
no.
not
I'm.
kind to myself. So like
Mhm.
anything.
Yeah, like in that area, I've been asking people you know, to provide me some help or some tips. What can I improve, or even just a little bit of encouragement, you know. And I think that also helps a lot.
That sounds like a kindness to yourself.
Hmm.
What do you do when you're hungry?
Uh, I just go and get something to eat
That sounds like a
sometimes.
kindness to yourself. What do you do when you're tired?
Uh, when I'm very tired, I just I don't know. I take a pill, drink some water, and go to sleep.
That sounds like a kindness. What do you do when you're lonely and you feel like you don't have much human connection in that moment?
Sadly, I don't do much in that area.
Were you lonely
Like
before you started coming to these live streams?
a little bit. Like
And then you
no, a
chose
little
to
bit.
come
No,
to the
that's
live
lying.
streams?
I am actually lonely.
And then you chose to come hang out with us so that you had some sort of connection?
Yes,
That
that is
sounds
true.
like a kindness. And so if you want to,
Hmm.
you could spend the next fucking 6 months writing down one per day a kindness that you're doing for yourself. And you would probably not run out of things to write on that piece of paper. You are literally every single day doing things that are kind to yourself. You just haven't ever recognized them because you're too busy attached to the story of I'm never kind to myself.
Mhm.
And that's what I mean where I say we have these stories, but they're just often not fucking true. Or they might be
Mm.
true, but we could also tell the exact opposite story. We could find tons of evidence that you are kind to yourself. And in the Play to Win video course that I talk about all the time, there's a chapter in there called Everything is Just a Story. And you're in control of the stories that you tell.
Mhm.
And so we can tell a story that you're not kind to yourself. And there's tons of evidence for that, of course. You could present a very compelling case for that. But there's
Mhm.
also tons of evidence that you're actually pretty fucking nice to yourself, man. And when you're hurting, you
Mhm.
ask for help. When you're lonely, you come to a live stream. When you're hungry, you eat. When you're tired, you sleep. You're
Mhm.
doing a lot. You just have never actually pat yourself on the back and said, you know what? Actually, fucking hell, I am trying. I am doing a lot. And now all
Mhm.
I need to do, or all I want to do, is just be a little kinder to myself. Like you're
Mhm.
already starting this journey. You're not starting from nothing.
Mhm.
I think you're so convinced that you're beginning, I'm not good at this and I suck at being nice to myself. It's like, brother, you're halfway through that journey already. You're already doing it. The
Mhm.
goal that you want to get to, you're already halfway there. I mean, you're already there, essentially. And
Mhm.
we're just doing more. So yeah,
Okay.
man, I'd play around with some more of these stories after this call,
Mhm.
and like the stories and the thoughts in your head. See if you can tell the opposite story, and just find one or two or three pieces of evidence that the opposite might be true. Like I'm so far from where I want to be. Let me find three pieces of evidence that that's not true. If you want a really funny piece of evidence for that, being really far from where you want to be would be when you were a baby and you were born and you literally couldn't walk and you used to shit in your own pants and you couldn't
Mhm.
even talk. That's pretty far from being a successful artist.
That is
You
true.
have come, you are closer now to being a successful artist than you are to being a baby. What I mean
Mhm.
is like you're way past the 50% mark of becoming an artist. From the moment
Mhm.
you were born, you've done 90% of the work that it takes to become a strong, like a successful artist. You
Mhm.
literally learn to walk, to talk, to draw, to hold pens and pencils in your hand, to function as a human being. Like you are so much further than you give yourself credit for. It's just that we say none of that counts.
Mhm.
Well, like that doesn't count because like that's just like being a normal person. It's like, okay, well, if you're not going to give yourself credit for that shit, then why would you give yourself credit for being a successful artist? You'll become a successful artist or you'll win a $6,000 art prize like Imogen did. And then you'll just say it doesn't count.
Mhm.
Or like me, you'll be a coach for 5 fucking years and then say, it doesn't count. I'm not actually really helping anyone. It's like, well, what about the 1,000 people that told you that you helped them? They don't count.
Mhm.
And our brain is just so tempted to say all of this shit doesn't count. And it's not something that I'm still working on, man. Like I'm not perfect at this stuff, at giving myself credit. But it does make a massive difference. It makes you feel a lot more positive
Mhm.
and capable if you start to celebrate and look for evidence of how far you have come. And if you say, you know what, I am doing an okay job, let me just try and do a better job, man. So you're probably doing better
Okay.
than you think, dude.
Okay. Thank you, Andy.
You're very
Thank you very
welcome, brother.
much.
Thank you for coming on and sharing, man. Like that was brave of you, dude.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, man.
Um, I don't know. I guess this is the part where I say goodbye.
Yeah, but I mean, you're not dying, but you're just going back to the chat, brother. We're not breaking up, dude. We're not breaking up. It's not me, it's you. I mean, it's not you, it's me. Whoops. Fuck, I said that the wrong way. No, dude, you're very welcome to jump back on in a couple of days from now and like
Mhm.
we can talk more about this. Same goes for any of you listening in the chat. Like you guys are welcome to come on. I probably won't do it any more today, but like you guys can come on multiple times. It's
Okay.
not just like once. Yeah.
I will. One thing I will do is just do a drawing so I can show it in the stream tomorrow.
Hell yeah, brother.
And
Do it.
yeah, all the things we talked about today. Thank you very much.
Hell yeah,
I
man.
really appreciate your time.
No, I appreciate you sharing, dude. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
See ya. All right, he's dead. Everyone, he's dead. Rip. Chad says rip. Yep, I agree. Rip. Chad did. Chad, the absolute legend that he is, did share some art. Who wants to see Chad's art? I want to see Chad's art. We're all going to see Chad's art. Fancy as fuck, son. I love it. What is this like? I can't tell what you've done this with. I'm zooming in. What is this, like pastels? This is amazing, dude. I like this. And then you've also done a poem, but you sent it to me sideways, and I don't know how to rotate it. And I could go to the trouble of rotating it, but I can't be bothered. So everybody turn your head and try and like read what this says. Lord, who created man in wealth and God, it's really hard to read this sideways. But you wrote a cool poem, dude. And I'm just going to give you credit for writing a cool poem that I can't read sideways. But thank you for sharing, man. That's cool shit. Anyone else want to share? Anyone want to email me something? You guys are very, very, very welcome to share anything that you want on these streams. Xander says, and you were saying this to Mr. 3447, you said, good on you for being vulnerable here, mate. Yeah. Same goes to you too, Xander. You were like one of the OGs of the vulnerability. You came on the first day that we let people on the stream. But yeah, I will always give you guys credit for sharing stuff, for being vulnerable, for telling us what you're worried about. Because the more we share this shit with each other, the more we can like help each other out. And sharing it helps you out a lot, obviously, because then you can talk about it. Brady says, if you send in art, I'll write a joke. No, you got to write a joke first. Plus, people have already sent stuff. So go on, tell us a joke. Tell us a joke. Knock, knock. Who's there? Brady. Brady who? Brady, tell us a fucking joke. That's called an anti-joke, what I just did, by the way, which is my favorite type of joke. Mike says, that's sick. Absolutely agree. Mr. 3447 says, I died, but I survived. Yeah, you did. Good job. Dude, you did a good job coming on there. You didn't sound nervous at all, actually. I am curious if you were nervous. You didn't sound it if you were. Chad says, it is meant to be this way because the form is as important to the text. Don't lie to me that it's meant to be sideways so none of us can read the poem. Don't pretend that you did that intentionally. Mortis says, I want to share. Yeah, just email me, andy@killyourinnerloser.com. Or you can send it to andy@handyandypandy.com, but then I probably won't see it because that's my other email address. Did any of you find my music, by the way? We said yesterday on the stream that I have released a couple of songs. They're not good. I mean, they're okay. But I made them back in the day when I was like 20-something years old. So it's like 20 years ago, 15 years ago. Pretty easy to find if you know where to look. And then Xander, you said this before Mr. 3447 came on the stream, but you said, does anyone else have a fear of like never succeeding? Isn't that funny that we literally just talked about that with 3447? So yeah, brother, like it's not just you that has this. Like, yeah, do you know how many times I've had this with like coaching and stuff? I don't have this so much anymore, but really I had that story until let's just say like a year ago, maybe even 6 months ago, dude. Like really recently, I had all of these fears of like, what if I can never make this coaching thing work? What if I just have to get a regular job again? And then it's like, well, then you just get a regular job again. Like, also, I was never going to get a regular job again. I would just work harder and make the coaching work. But yeah, I had a lot of fears of not succeeding for sure, man. Like, it's not just you. That's like unbelievably normal. Mike says the citizenship test in Brazil is can you play football? Yes, that is or volleyball, beach volleyball. They're okay with either one. ECC says fellow Taekwondo guy. Yeah, there's a bunch of you into Taekwondo and BJJ and all of that stuff. Brady, I missed this. This was like freaking, you sent this 30 minutes ago, but you said, I'm here now. We can start the stream. Thanks, man. We were all sitting around waiting for you. Is that your joke? Is that your joke? You promised us a joke. Is this your joke? If so, it was pretty decent. Max says, this guy is just like me. Yeah, this is why it's cool to have you guys come on the stream because you can all see that it's not you sitting in this silent terror all by yourself alone. That's why I say to you guys all the time, like, what do you hear me say all the time? Yeah, man, like your fears are normal. Yeah, man, like what you're going through is completely like everybody else, dude. And it's really nice to see someone else do it because it's almost like you guys don't believe me when I tell you that I went through it because you're like, yeah, but you're not going through that right now, Andy. So it almost doesn't count. It's almost like too far removed. Even if I literally sit there and say, guys, as recently as 6 months ago, I thought that I was a bad coach and I was never going to make it work. And you're like, yeah, whatever. I'm not listening. But then you have someone else that comes on and is like, I'm going through this right now. And you're like, what? Someone else is going through my struggles? Are you serious? And so it's nice to see someone that's like in the trenches with you. Chad even says, I can relate to him. Brady says, there is no more starving artist. You can do it. Absolutely. Absolutely. Art is, like I said, one of the oldest like professions of all time. It's just that most artists, it has this like weird stigma around it. So artists have this idea that like what they're doing doesn't count. At least with me with coaching, I had a lot of insecurities, but I was like, I know that therapy is a thing, and I know that, like, dating coaching is a thing, and I know that, like, life coaching is a thing. So even if I didn't think I could do it, I was at least like, "Yeah, there's a lot of other people around me doing it, so I can do it." But for some reason with artists, they're like, "No, I shouldn't be earning money from this." Even though, like, some of the richest people on the planet are artists, especially if we're gonna include music in with artists. Like, who has more money? Some dude working at a fucking bank or Taylor fucking Swift? And yeah, you don't have to get to that level of fame. But the point is, there are like multi billionaires who do art or make music or do something creative or write or any of that sort of shit. So, like, of course, there's money in the arts. My God, there's like money, wealth, fame, and all of that shit. And satisfaction and fun. Mortis says, "Don't end the stream yet." I'm not going to end the stream yet. Calm down. We're still here, brother. I promise. We're not going anywhere. We'll be here for maybe, depending on how tired I get, we can do like another hour if you guys still have lots of questions. Like, I probably don't want to go over the 2 hour mark, but yeah, we're not going anytime soon, brother. Brady says, "I highly recommend checking out The Art of War by Stephen Pressfield." What a cool name. The true battle of being an artist is about doing it. Yeah. 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 Yes. Yes. One of the things I'm grateful for is that I'm probably fucking autistic and probably definitely ADHD, which means that like when I focus on something, I can focus on it for like 6 years straight to the point of fucking crazy obsession where I'm just like focusing on it for like 6 hours a day. Like, I understand that not everyone has that character trait. And to be honest, neither did I at the start. So that's not even true. Like, I built that over a couple of years. So anyone can build that. But I'm grateful that I have that now because that's how I've been able to do like 1,100 videos on this channel. And it's like literally the only reason that I'm even remotely successful is consistency, like Brady said. If you just like do the thing for long enough people go like, "Oh, cool, look at this guy doing this thing." You don't even have to be good at it. Like, I don't make the uh I don't say that I'm the best at this. I don't have to be. I am probably one of the most consistent at this though. Chad says, "Show us the art. Maybe one of us will buy it." Yeah, by the way, if any of you ever want to like buy each other's art or like anything else that ever gets shown off, like you can just, I guess, email me and I can connect you with that person, like as long as they're happy to. So yeah, if you guys ever want to like buy stuff off each other, or last year we even had two people. We had a woman in the chat and then we had a guy in the chat and they both discovered that they lived in the same like area, like the same city or whatever. And then we connected them together, or they connected themselves together, or something. And then they ended up meeting up and hooking up and having sex. Maybe that was the biggest win that we had from last year's live streams, is we literally had a guy in the community and a girl in the community meet up for wholesome BDSM sex. And then they both emailed me separately and said, like, "Oh my God, like this was amazing. Like, feel free to share this story on the stream tomorrow." And I was like, "Wait, did you guys actually hook up? Like, you got to be lying. Did you really hook up?" And both of them separately were like, "Yeah, we did. It was beautiful." Wow. Mike says, "I really want to be more like you as a person, man. The amount of love that you have for other people is incredible." That's cool, dude. I'm always gonna encourage people to be more loving. If you want some like books on this, like some recommendations, like this is something that I've deliberately worked on for the last like, I don't know, 5 years straight. God, I could give you like hundreds of book recommendations. I'm trying to think like what priority, like what order I would give them to you in. I would probably read everything by Byron Katie first. Then I would read David Hawkins's book, Letting Go. Then I would read everything Mother Teresa put out. And if you're not religious, that's fine. Like, you can kind of just skip over the references to God and Jesus and all of that. Like, I'm not really religious, but like that book is literally, or all of her books are books on like how to love people. Um, what else? Yeah, I'd probably just start with those three authors. So Byron Katie, David Hawkins, and Mother Teresa. They're the ones that have affected me the most in terms of love, like how to love other people. And then just other motherfuckers in history who did it too. Like, I have just gone to town on reading about Jesus and Buddha like all the stories. And again, you don't have to be religious, but just like Jesus was a wild dude who just walked around like loving everyone. And he would sit down with like prostitutes and tax collectors and all the people that society hated. And they said, like, don't go hang out with that person. And he'd be like, why? They're like my homie, like they're my people. So he was just chill as fuck. Buddha was chill as fuck. Byron Katie was chill as fuck. I just like people that are chill as fuck, man. But yeah, if you want to have more love for people, just like practice, just like read books and practice. Something you can do as well if you want some actionable advice. This is something I do like constantly all day. When you go outside, every person that you walk past, try and find one lovable thing about them. Like literally try and look at them and see one thing that you can love about them. Maybe you love their fashion sense. Maybe you love their haircut. Maybe you love their smile. Maybe you watch them be really kind to their child or something and you love that in them. But like every person that you walk past, try and pick just like one little reason to love them. And you'll see that that will really fucking help you start to just like humanity. Sorry, Adriel just made me laugh. Jesus was chill as fuck, lol. Yeah, dude. Jesus was the chillest motherfucker. Dude, if you read the Bible and just like half of what he's saying, like the woman, there's a story like the Samaritan woman at the well. And so back then, like the Samaritans and the Jews like fucking kind of hated each other. And Jesus just like rocks up to this well and there's this like Samaritan woman there who's like meant to be the enemy. And he's all like, yo, hey, can I have some water? And she's like, but I'm a Samaritan. Like, you shouldn't be. And he's like, bitch, like, I'm thirsty or whatever. Just like, fucking give me that water. Phoenix, you're right, except for the table that he flipped over. Yeah, he had a crash out moment, 100%. But I think he was making a point. Yeah, 100%, 100%, 100%. And then rocks up at the like everyone's like throwing stones at this woman who'd like committed adultery or some shit. And he's all like, yo, peeps, the fuck is wrong with all of you cunts? Like, stop throwing stones. I know you motherfuckers have been doing sins. You guys have been, you sinned the other week. Motherfucker, I literally saw you sin the other week. And you fucking hypocrite, stop sinning. Any of you motherfuckers who've done a sin, you can't be throwing those rocks, all right? Whichever one of you has never sinned, you throw the fucking rock. And then everyone's like, oh God, like this guy's right. And he's like, yeah, guys, chill the fuck out. What the fuck is wrong with you guys? Like, wear some sandals, grow your hair out. Fucking chill, boys. Like, fuck. You guys are crazy. Fucking chill. And then you say the big JC did kick off at the temple that one time. Why? I don't know. We'd have to ask him. We can't make assumptions. We'd have to go back in time and ask the dude, be like, what was that crash out? And he'd probably be like, fuck, man, I was just like having a bad day, you know, all this pressure to be me. Everyone expects that I got to be like the fucking son of the Lord and shit. Like, everyone's always asking me for advice, man. And like the Romans hate me and they're always yelling at me because I hang out with prostitutes and like chill people. Fuck, man, I had a crash out. Leave me alone. Don't write it down in a book and tell people about it in the future, please. Just like one bad time. It's having a bad day. This was like fucking 30 minutes ago, but expert cheek clapper has already left and said, I'm sleepy, guys. Have a great stream. Love to you, brother. Have a good one. Salutes for the cheek clapper. Yep. Mortis says, if you send an artwork, then I will genuinely show flirty interest towards a woman this year. I hope by this year, you mean 2025 and not I'm going to give myself one entire year to show flirty interest towards one woman. Brother, do it in the next 3 weeks before the end of this year. Do not give yourself an entire year to show flirty interest. You can show flirty interest in the next couple of weeks, brother. We believe in you. Get it done. Mr. 3447 says, I was a little nervous at the start and at the end. Good job, man. You did a great job coming on the stream. I usually get nervous before and after doing things, but not while I'm doing them. I think that's pretty fair. I think that's most people. Brady says, I believe this is a joke that we're all about to say. RuPaul's Drag Race. You know what's funny is I actually have watched that show quite a few times. I watched it with a girl that I dated. Showing once again that men are better at everything than women, including being women. Yeah, but you stole that joke, brother. I've heard that joke a million times from so many people. I've heard that on like the Joe Rogan show. I've heard that from like when they have like transgender people competing. Because someone won Woman of the Year. I think it was like Caitlyn Jenner won Woman of the Year or something. And they were like, look, this, and Caitlyn Jenner used to be a man. So they were like, look, this just proves once again that men are better than everything than women. Also, you reminded me of this website that I used, this like satirical website, menarbetterthanwomen.com. I want to see if that still exists. It's by this guy called Dick Masterton, who has his own podcast and shit. Is Men Are Better Than Women still there? It is. It still exists. What's funny is it's a parody against men who think that they're like all men are better than women. But so many people followed that blog and were like, yeah, men are better than women. And the guy who made it, again, his name is Dick Masterton. He talked so many times on his podcast. He's like, do you know how many fucking people read my website and literally thought I was being serious that men are better than women, even though it's so obviously satirical? Like he would just make so many jokes against men, but people just thought like he was being serious. And he had this like character called Dick Masterton, and he'd be like a big misogynist, but he was like parodying people like that. But yeah, I used to love that blog. It used to like made me laugh all the time. Mr. 3447 says, yeah, I fear not succeeding, but I think I fear succeeding even more. 100%, because there's like a fear of like discomfort and a fear of like changing. So I wrote this article called, let me find it for you, Comfortably Uncomfortable. I'll put it in the chat for you guys. And I talk about how as soon as you start succeeding, things need to change. Like, in order to start succeeding, you might have to do things that you don't need to do if you're not succeeding. So, for instance, if you want to start a business, maybe that might require you to drink a little bit less. Like, maybe you get wasted every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night. And it's really hard to build a business if you're hungover like 4 days a week. So, maybe you need to not eliminate alcohol, but just cut it down a little bit. And so your part of you is afraid of giving up that crutch. And there'll be like 20 or 30 different things that might need to change a little bit. And you very much feel like something's fucking like wrong there. Also, some of you are saying my audio is a little fucky wucky. Is it? Because if it is, the only thing that fixes it is restarting. Can you guys tell me if it's still doing that or if it's okay now? And does it sound like crackly? Let me try unplugging and plugging, but usually I have to restart my computer if that happens. Please be back in 1 second while I fix my tech. Can you guys tell me, is that better? Tell me if this fixes it. But yeah, my computer needs a restart sometimes. How is that, guys? Is that all right or still bad? Okay, is that all right now? I've switched microphones. Yeah, my computer just like randomly decides that it's not happy. And then when I restart it, it's fixed. And I've never been able to find a cause. It's literally just completely fucking random. And yeah, it's happened a lot when I record. If it happens again, guys, like spam the chat. I really appreciate you. Like just spam like audio issues or crackling or something like that. Still happening. You guys are giving me conflicting info. Some of you are saying it sounds good. Some of you are saying it's still okay. I am going to restart. I'm not sure what the hell that means for the stream, but I will restart and be back in like 5 minutes. All right, can you guys tell me if that's better? Also, I love that the stream just stayed on when I wasn't here. That's cool as fuck. Is the audio better, you absolute legends? I still have all your chats, like nothing went away. That's so cool. I can literally just restart my computer and the stream stays live. That's good to know. But yeah, guys, tell me if the audio is better now or still bad. Better? Cool. Perfect. Yeah. Yeah, it's completely random and it happens a lot when I record. And if I record in a video and it does that, then the whole video is just screwed. There's nothing I can do about it. And it's like, damn it. So yeah, it's just a random thing. Thanks for bearing with us during these tech issues, you guys. Really cool that I can just leave and come back. Let me go straight back into the comments. We were talking about Jesus. We were laughing about Jesus, how chill he was. Adriel says, Brady, how do you get good at writing jokes? I'm going to assume something like practice. I did a podcast ages ago called How to Have a Sense of Humor, like how to be funny. And I literally just said, like, first of all, you got to be okay with bombing. Like, give yourself permission to suck, give yourself permission to tell a joke, and literally everyone just looks at you awkwardly. Eventually, you learn how to roll with that and make that into a funny thing. You know, you can either turn on the people a little bit and be like, you guys suck. Come on, man. That was a good joke. Like, why aren't you guys laughing? Or you can double down on the joke. There's lots of people who do that as a way of dealing with like a bad joke. Or you can just tell another joke. Or you can just sit in the discomfort and make them feel uncomfortable. That can be pretty funny, almost like an anti joke. But yeah, a lot of like having a sense of humor is just being okay with the fact that you will bomb. And then it's literally just practice. One thing that Seinfeld, like Jerry Seinfeld, did that I really liked is he would write every day and he had like a calendar and he would specifically like put a cross, like an X every day that he wrote a joke. And his only mission was to keep the streak going for as long as he possibly could. And I think he's like kept that up for years and years. So it's just practice, man, kind of like everything else. You can read books on jokes, like you can watch a shitload of like stand up comedy to get some ideas. You can kind of steal jokes from other people. Just make sure you like don't claim it as your own joke, but just like practice telling other people's jokes. And then when they laugh, be like, yeah, I got that joke from Louis C.K. or someone. I got that joke from fucking Jeffrey Epstein. That's a joke in itself. Cam says the thumbnail is peak. Yeah, what thumbnail did I put, guys? I've been putting a lot of effort into these thumbnails for these streams every day. I have so much fun with them. One of you guys asked me if I could do one on the Naked Gun. I can't remember which one of you it was, like Mortis, or one of you said Naked Gun. And then the very next day, I made sure there was like Naked Gun in the thumbnail. So I'm having a ton of like fun with these stupid thumbnails. If you guys have any ideas for thumbnails that are like easy enough for me to Photoshop, I'm basically just sticking my head on the top of like random images or people. But if you guys have any suggestions for something you want me to make for a thumbnail, just tell me and I'll do it. Brady says, so this is advice for how to get good at writing jokes. Just do it by loving it, being obsessed with it. You're the first fan. It's about love, then do it. Yeah. So you're basically just saying like consistency. Yeah, exactly what you said. Doing it is everything. Yeah, 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 yeah. And that advice holds for basically everything. Like anything you want to get decent at, it's like just do it. Just like admit that you'll suck at the start, be okay with that. Do it a shitload of times and then just keep going. Like that's it. Exactly what Brady said. 1% inspiration, 99% perspiration. Yeah, 100%. And it doesn't even have to be like perspiration in terms of pain. It's just like, do it. I mean, Brady would even say it's not pain. He literally said, like, you got to be the first fan, like, love it and do it. Yeah, find ways for it to be really fun. I would say the same for if any of you want to be like a coach or you want to be a YouTuber or a streamer or something like that. It's like just find ways to make it fun and effortless every single day. Don't make it a struggle or painful because then you won't keep it up for the years that it might take to really grow it. But find ways to make it freaking fun. Adriel says, Andy, have you watched Monty Python? Yeah, but so freaking long ago, man. So, yes, like I can think of many jokes that I like from it, but I can't remember the plot of most of them. Like I remember the coconuts to make the sound of a horse running. I remember the knight who gets all of his limbs cut off and shit. So I remember lots of the skits and the jokes, but I don't remember any of the plot. I guess none of them are about plot, are they? It's more about the stupid jokes. So yes, I do like, yeah, joke thief. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, okay. You're starting to remind me. Yeah, I love that kind of old school humor. I love like Faulty Towers and stuff like that. Like any of that just old, like where there's a little bit of like skits, not skits, but like there's some like physical comedy, like that kind of stuff. I love like what's his name? Like Buster, what's his name? Is like Buster Keating or something? You know the old like guy, Buster Keaton? Is that who I'm thinking of? Yeah, Buster Keaton, um, the Marx Brothers, like all of that kind of stuff. Yeah, I love that kind of stuff. Adriel, you said, I bet Andy used to read Maddox. I did. I actually did. Yeah, 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 yeah. I really did. And then at some point, like I just felt like he was a little bit. I used to think that his negativity and his complaining was just like a fun little like joke that he did. But as I got a little older and as I read more and more, I got the sense that he was actually just like a grumpy, unhappy person. And I definitely got that sense on his podcast that he did with Dick Masterton. But I still liked his stuff. I think he was a really good writer, or I think he is a really good writer. So yeah, I'm grateful for that part of my childhood. I used to read him religiously, but he didn't write a lot. Like he would only release a new article like every few months or sometimes every few years. Chad says Buster Keaton did those skits that have a very physical humor. Yeah, that's the kind of shit that I'm talking about. I like that kind of stuff because there's almost like a dance to it, or like it's obviously physical. You're doing crazy stuff with your body. It's why I like someone like Jim Carrey. A lot of people don't like Jim Carrey because he's very over the top, but like I just really like that kind of physical. Again, it's almost, I mean, it is a performance, but it's almost like a dance or something. I love that shit. Bill, you say, I love fish slapping dance from Monty Python. Yeah, I love all that kind of stuff. Phoenix says, I should try to see if Moist Critical has ever been interviewed about how he writes scripts. Yeah, dude, if you find out an answer to that, can you let me know? Because I've often wondered if he just wings it as he goes, but he has so many little like jokes and like analogies and things that he says as he's going that if he's just doing it off the cuff, then he's like a comedian, like a really good comedian. He's just off the cuff throwing out these jokes and analogies. So if he doesn't really write much and he's just doing it off the cuff, then mad respect for him. Even if he's writing it down, that's still impressive because he releases like 5 videos a day. So the dude is very busy. He's a very good example of someone that just does the thing a whole lot. And then he's been successful because he just does it a lot. Mortis says, Andy, I sent you a quick song demo where I did backing vocal. Amazing, dude. We'll probably show it on stream tomorrow because I got a whole bunch of emails in my inbox and I want to clear all of them out first. But we'll probably do it on the stream tomorrow, dude. Like we can play it on stream. But thank you for saying that, dude. That's fucking sick. Good job. Good job sharing that. You know, again, all of you, good job sharing anything that you guys share. Mike, Jeffrey Epstein. Yeah, Jeffrey Epstein got a bad rap. I don't think he was that bad, right? That's a joke, everybody. That's a joke. Mike says Jim Carrey as the mask was peak. Yeah, like that's the kind of physical comedy that I'm talking about. Same as Ace Ventura. Yeah, where it's like so my favorite Jim Carrey is actually God, what's the one where me, myself, and Irene? There's one moment where he gets into a fight with himself. So for anyone who hasn't seen that movie, basically he's schizophrenic or like multiple personality disorder, right? There's two different parts of him. And he has this moment where the two parts like split. And so the left part of his body is controlled by one personality, and the right part of his body is controlled by another. And he's literally trying to walk while the other side like tries to stop him. So half of him is trying to walk forward, the other half is trying to stop. And so he's like grabbing onto stuff with his left hand while his right hand's like punching himself in the face. Like it's fucking insane. Like to watch. You're just like, how did you even make your body like you're controlling different parts of your body at the same time? I've watched that scene so many times, and he literally starts getting into a fist fight with himself, and I'm like, I don't even know how you coordinated all of this. This is like actually freaking physically impressive. Phoenix, you say there's no way Charlie wings it. His Twitch streams aren't that fun. Interesting. So maybe he's writing. I mean, I guess we're just guessing. but maybe he's writing like a script and some jokes and then just kind of like going for it, man. Either way, that's still insanely impressive given like how much content he puts out every single day. Like impressive. Chad, you said, yeah, that is me, myself, and Irene. Yeah, yeah, I love that movie, dude. Or I love that scene in that movie. Mr. Mortis. One question. I found a guy who was also really into pickup, self improvement, talking to women, etc. I went out with him tonight and I realized I don't feel at all the positive reactions towards talking to women, flirting, etc. Yeah. I mean, you don't have to. Like, you don't have to feel positive reactions. Are you asking us because you want to feel some positive reactions? In which case, what I would do is rather than wanting the emotion to be there or the feeling, I would focus on the action. So focus on gratitude, focus on like appreciating, you know, each woman that you talk to. Like, you don't always need a positive feeling for stuff. A lot of the time, we chase our feelings as if they're like some sort of god, and we just almost worship our feelings. But there's a Mark Manson article that I really like, and it was called "Fuck Your Feelings," and he basically said, "Stop worshiping your feelings as if they're the most important thing. Focus more on action, gratitude and stuff like that." So, yeah, I think most humans, most of us, like worship feelings as if they're a deity or a god. But like, your feelings aren't a measure as to whether or not something was successful or not. You can have higher things than that, like principles, basically. Cole, the guy with the cool truck in the background, says, I've been doing improv 101, then 201 for about 8 weeks now, once a week. That's so cool, dude. It's kind of that one thing I give myself to escape from the rest of the week religiously. Really fun. Yeah, we've had a lot of coaching clients that have come through the coaching program and they do like improv and stand up and stuff like that. Like, I had a friend who did that stuff as well. That's really cool. Cam says, God bless Jim Carrey. Sonic series is the best video game adaptation of all time. Yeah, I'm trying to think of a better one. I mean, the Mario movie was really popular and got really good reviews. I personally preferred the Sonic ones. I agree. Him as Eggman, yeah, you even said that. A big part was him as Eggman. Him as Eggman was fucking great. And his little assistant, they had a really nice, like, what do you call it? What's the duo where there's like the crazy man and the straight man? Whatever that's called. But I liked their duo. I really liked that. I agree, man. Mortis, you said, I'm actually going to start going out with this guy. That's cool, dude. Like, yeah, go out and socialize and have some friends and have some fun with that shit. Like, this shit's allowed to be fun. You said, I want to. I hate that I don't like flirting with women. You might just be a little scared, man. Like, often when we're anxious or nervous about something, it's hard to fucking enjoy it because we're so busy, like, feeling all the feelings and stuff. So, yeah, it might be one of those things that you just enjoy the more you do it. You say, I also found out that he asked out a girl I found interesting for a few months or so, and I completely lost interest in that girl. Now I feel shitty and jealous. Like, yeah, that's like a very normal set of feelings, man. Like, a lot of people feel like very jealous and stuff like that. If you haven't already, I would read the book I Need Your Love. Is That True? But then just like feel the jealousy, man. Like, it's a normal feeling. Chad making a joke. Hey, listen, can we leave the jokes to me and Brady? Okay. Let the professionals handle the jokes, Chad. Also, Chad, aren't you German? What the fuck is a German telling a joke? Why are you telling a joke, son? You're not supposed to tell jokes. You're German. Actually, to be honest, like, German friends and German clients have been some of the funniest people that I've ever met, especially because they usually tell a joke with a very straight face. And they're usually very serious when they tell the joke. And it takes you like half a second to realize that they just told a joke, and that just makes it fucking funnier. And then Shafted says, Mortis, I think you got to enjoy the tension. Yeah, like a little bit. You're talking about like flirting and tension and all of that. Yeah, that can be like part of it. Cam says, I don't enjoy the tension. I enjoy breaking it. Yeah, same. I enjoy like cutting through the tension and being real with a woman or like a person. And I literally just say, hey, I'm a little nervous right now. Are you nervous? And then she's like, yeah, a little bit. And I'm like, cool. Do you want to be nervous together? And then that gets rid of like all the tension. Chad says, yes, I am German. Being funny is a very serious thing. Yep. Germans take their humor very seriously. Mike says, German knock knock joke. Knock knock. Who's there? Doesn't matter. Opens the door now. Yeah, that's called an anti joke. Anti jokes are two of my my favorite type of joke. Um, the best example I can think of someone is like Norm Macdonald. He used to tell like anti jokes all the fucking time, and he'd make them so long. Like, if you guys look up Norm Macdonald moth joke, He told this joke that goes on for like 3 fucking minutes and just like it's a joke, but by the time you get to the end of it, you're just like, why did you just waste my time for 3 minutes? And like that's part of the joke. This motherfucker made you, and he did it in front of, like, he did it on the, like, on some late night TV show, like David Letterman or something. So you have an entire audience and everyone at home watching him just for like 3 minutes keep going with this fucking joke until finally he gets to the punchline, and you're just like, what the fuck, man? Like, why did you make us listen to that for 3 minutes? That's part of the humor of it. It's just like, I can't believe you did that on Letterman. Like, you're supposed to go on there and like put in all this effort. He was like the world's biggest troll. Norm Macdonald, my favorite dude. Absolute legend. But yeah, anti jokes are like, I want to find some short versions for you and just like read out one or two. All right, here's one. What do you call the medical student who graduates dead last in their class? Doctor. A man walks into a bar. He orders a drink and stays there late. The next day, he gets up and goes to work. Like, they're just like not a joke, but they start out as a joke. You know, like a man walks into a bar and you're like, oh, here we go. Here we go. What's the joke? And it's just like, no. What do you call cheese that isn't yours? Stolen. Like, there's no fucking joke there. And that's part of why it's like funny, because it drives you insane. If it's annoying. Mortis says, pretty much my question would be, do I eventually start to enjoy women once I do it enough times? Like, yes, but also you can find ways to enjoy it right now. That's why I said, like, don't worship your feelings. Don't just focus only on your feelings. I would focus on gratitude. Like, gratitude is something that you can enjoy all the time if you actually let yourself do it. And so I just start being grateful, man. I'm grateful that my friend wants to help me. I'm grateful that I get to talk to women. I'm grateful they want to talk to me. I'm grateful for human connection. I'm grateful that I can improve myself. I'm grateful that I don't rely on my feelings as the only measure of like happiness. I'm grateful that I get to tell the live stream, like the community, that I went out and did some of this stuff. And by the way, congratulations, man. Like, good job. This was brave of you. You say, can't I just get a girlfriend and skip all of the BS stuff? So the moment you stop calling it BS is when you'll actually enjoy it. But if you call all of this like the work, or this is bullshit, also like, what do you think a relationship is, brother? Like, as soon as you get into a relationship, you're going to have moments where you communicate. There's going to be days where she comes home and she's grumpy, and you guys got to figure out how to navigate that. There's going to be days where you feel jealous. Like, do you think you're not going to feel jealous in a relationship? Like, you definitely have this concept that like movies give us. So, like, you didn't just make this concept up, but so many movies and books go, and then they lived happily ever after. And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? For the next like 50 years of their relationship, what, you just wave that away with a hand wave and go, happily ever after? What about when they have their first argument? What about when they have money stress? What about when one of them gets cancer? What about when they're trying to figure out where to send the kids to school? What about when she's giving birth and it goes on for like a 50-hour labor and she's in agony and he has to sit there watching his wife in agony for 50 hours? Like, there is no just like happily ever after. Like, life continues. And if you think that a girlfriend is going to bring you happiness, that is like such a deep burden to put on her, because you're basically saying, I'm not happy in myself, but some other woman has to fix that for me. It's like, dude, that's just like too much of a burden for one person. And like a big part of a relationship is figuring all this stuff out together, figuring out jealousy, figuring out sadness, figuring out frustration, like learning to communicate better. Like, if you just think having a girlfriend will like solve all of this BS stuff, you're in for like a big awakening when you first get into the relationship, because you'll be like, why isn't this sunshine and rainbows every single moment? And it's like, because like that's just not what life is. Like, there's some things that we got to work through. You know what I mean? Some feelings and shit like that. Shafted says, yeah, it was the same with me. I hated, but at some point I began to enjoy it. The moment when I stopped trying to fight my nervousness and tried to just be calm and relaxed and stay in that tension. Yeah, as soon as we stop saying this stuff sucks, like as soon as we stop labeling things as bad, then everything's easier, everything's more peaceful, everything's more fun. The only reason that we suffer is because we label things as suffering. We say that things are bad. We say, I hate this shit and stuff like that. Mortis, you say I'm. It's not like I'm nervous. I just don't like flirting. You don't have to flirt. How many times have you guys heard me say in videos? You guys don't have to flirt. You can just talk like a person, and then just be like, "Hey, do you want to like go on a date with me sometime?" You don't have to flirt at all. You can go your entire life never flirting ever again for the rest of your entire life, and you'll be fine. Like, you're still going to need to do something to communicate to her that you're into her, but you could literally just say like, "By the way, I find you really pretty. Do you want to go on a date with me?" Like, you don't have to flirt. Like, flirting is not necessary. Neither is like escalating or touching her or any of that shit. You can just be like, "Yo, you're pretty. Like, do you want to kiss me? Do you want to make out?" You can just be autistic with this shit. You definitely do not have to flirt. Chad says, "Just kidnap a woman. Hashtag dark romance maxing." Yeah, like romance novel maxing. Definitely don't recommend that, but sure. Shafted says, "Things aren't working out for me in bed at all. If my wife didn't sleep with their mouth open, I wouldn't be having sex at all anymore." German humor. Fucking hell, man. So this that kind of reminds me of the joke where a couple go to marriage counseling and they just haven't had sex. The husband goes, "My wife just, I don't know. She says that she's not satisfied in bed anymore. I don't know what we're doing wrong. Like, I don't know how to fix it." The therapist just grabs the wife, throws her down on the table, and he rips her clothes off and just starts pounding her while the husband just watches. And the therapist like fucks the shit out of her. Bam, pulls out, and the wife's like, "Oh, oh my god, oh my god." And the therapist turns to the husband and says, "There you go. That's what she needs 3 times a week." And the husband goes, "Okay, I can probably bring her in here on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays." That's one of my favorite jokes, boys. Mortis, you say the thought of telling a woman I want to kiss her, ask her on a date, makes me feel horrible inside, and I want to cry in a fetal position. You're allowed to cry in a fetal position. Just like from the fetal position, tell her that you want to kiss her, and just be like, "Come down here on the floor in this fetal position with me, and tell me and kiss me, please." Phoenix says, "Cut." Yeah, you're talking about my joke. Mike says that's high key a good joke. Yeah, I like that joke. I like that joke a lot. That's like one of my favorites. But yeah, Mortis, to go back to like what you're actually saying, yes, don't you think that everything you're saying here is called anxiety? And it's funny how our brains cover over anxiety. And like you said before, I don't even care about flirting. Like, I don't even care about talking to girls. Like, guys, I don't really even see it as like it's just not something that I care about. And then when we say, like, okay, how does it make you feel to think about it? You're like, I literally want to die when I think about it. It's like, okay, that's probably just anxiety, brother. And like part of what makes it feel a little better is just like practicing it and giving yourself permission to suck. Part of why this feels so scary is because you're telling yourself or you think that something bad will happen. You're afraid of like the outcome or afraid of the fear of the unknown, or you think you have to be perfect, but you really don't, man. Like, do you know how many dates I went on where I was like so close to throwing up? I've told you guys this story. The first like 20 women that I approached, like that I cold approached, literally all that was in my head was don't throw up, don't vomit, don't vomit, don't vomit, don't vomit. I just felt like I was going to throw up on them. And then I would start having these thoughts in my head of like, what if I projectile vomit onto her? Oh my God, I will die. I will literally go home and I will just have to straight up never leave the house ever again. Like, I was so terrified that I was going to throw up on someone. And Cam will be the first person to tell you how nervous he was. I was there with him for his first few approaches. Like he came to my city for cold approach, like for coaching, and he was so unbelievably terrified. He was like chain smoking cigarettes and shit. And he's like shaking and he's like, "I can't fucking do this. I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't do this." And I was like, "You can, my brother. Let's just walk around." And he's like, "I can't do this. I can't fucking do this. I can't do this." And I was like, "Okay, how about I do a few approaches?" And I think I did like one or two. And he was just like, "I can't do this. I can't do this." And like eventually he did some approaches. But yeah, like these feelings that you're feeling are just so normal, like unbelievably normal, really normal. Cole says, "Can tomorrow be an octopus with your head on it, lol, just being funny, no significance?" Okay, that took me way too long to realize that you were referring to the thumbnail. I actually thought you wanted me to bring an octopus and stick it on my head or something. Yes, I will make the YouTube thumbnail an octopus because I know you guys seem to like pussy. So I'll make you an octopusy with my head on it. I can do that. I can absolutely do that. Mortis says it's anxiety and extreme fear masked as other negative emotions. Yeah, yeah, of course. You say one thing I'm super scared of is other guys. Well, then just don't hit on guys, brother. Just hit on girls. I enjoyed that joke very much. What are you scared of other guys? What are you scared that they will see you? You said, I think I'm scared of women less than other. Oh, so you're more scared of other guys that like her. Yeah, but like not everyone in a bar is just sitting there going like, that's my property and nobody better talk to her. Like all that happens if you hit on some girl that another guy likes is he just goes, oh man. And then like that's it. Like he's not going to come over to you and fight you. This isn't like cavemen days or something. Even in cavemen days, they wouldn't have done that because you'd get kicked out of the tribe if you start fights with random people. You say it's so dumb. It's not dumb. It's just your fear. It's not dumb. You don't have to label your fears as dumb. When you do label them as dumb, then you're not going to face them. So the first step to embracing your fears and overcoming them is not judging them and saying, okay, I have this fear. All right, what am I going to do about it? How can I start working through this? Xander says, God, you know what this talk is making me want to do? Find a guy who's so terrified of talking to women. Okay, well, that's Mortis in the chat. Can you help Mortis? You say, I want to help him. You just help Mortis. There you go. Do some approaches in front of him. Okay, just get him to fly to your city and show him how easy it is. But being serious, Xander, yeah, this is something you can do if you want to, man. You could go on meetup.com and see if there's any groups in your city of people doing this, and you could just go in there and help. Or there's forums or like Telegram, like WhatsApp groups of people doing this shit. Yeah, you could absolutely get into like the quote unquote scene of guys like hitting on women, and you could absolutely help. Or you can just ask a bunch of random dudes, like ask your friends and shit, like, do any of you want to learn how to talk to women? I can help. I think you'd find it really like enjoyable, Xander. Like helping someone else feels really nice. Oh, you said you're in Melbourne. Dude, there's so many pickup artist groups in Melbourne. Dude, like there's so many. Just Google like Melbourne pickup artists and then just like go find some people and like help them. Yeah, I think you'd be a good person to help them because you've done so many and you're like pretty comfortable with it, man. And you've gone on enough instant dates. They would find that mind blowing, by the way. So yeah, you can definitely help people, man. You'd probably find it like really fucking satisfying. Xander says, seriously, I'm not even joking. If anyone does live here too, I actually would be willing to help them with this. Dude, just like I said, Google, like if anyone lives in Melbourne, then just message him anyway. But just Google like Melbourne pickup artists. Or you can go to Melbourne Central, man. I think on a Tuesday night. So I haven't lived in Melbourne for quite a few years, like since 2020 in the lockdown. So I haven't been there for 5 years. But every Tuesday night in Melbourne Central, like underneath the clock tower, if you know where that is, of course you probably know where that is. You fucking live in Melbourne. Underneath the clock tower in Melbourne Central, there will always pick up artists. And then they would walk up and down like Elizabeth Street and sometimes like Swanston Street, and they would just talk to girls. They're very easy to see on a Tuesday night, roughly like 5 or 6 p.m. You could just go and find one of those groups and be like, hey, are you guys talking to girls? Can I like come hang out with you? Because I like to talk to girls too. Like you'll probably just accidentally find some people. You said I do approaches there. Dude, okay, you want to know something cool? So I lived in you know the shopping center that's joined to it? Is it called Emporium? It is, isn't it? It's Emporium. The shopping center next to it, I lived in Emporium. There's a like a apartment building like literally attached to Emporium. I moved there so that I could really go all in with my like getting laid journey. So every day I would leave my apartment and there was a back entrance. I'm literally in Emporium. And then I could walk across the road to like Melbourne Central if I wanted to. And then I could walk to like the train stations and the universities. Like I was literally in the center of the city. It was like the best location I think anyone's ever gonna have. It would be like the equivalent of living in Times Square, like literally living in Times Square in New York. There were just so many people, probably even better than Times Square because there was like a train station, like literally where I was, and universities and shit. Adriel says, what podcast do you listen to? At the moment, only the Byron Katie podcast, although I listen to a lot of audiobooks from like authors and like David Hawkins and Byron Katie have put out a ton of audiobooks. David Hawkins has like 50 audiobooks. So I listen to those. And then, yeah, Byron Katie's podcast. She does it like 3 times a week, and she is 82 years old and still doing, like, therapy and the work with people. She's an absolute blessing, so I like listening to that. And then I just listen to, like, music. Xander says, "Holy shit, that's where my girlfriend lived. Literally exact same building." What floor? Like, you don't have to say what apartment, like, number, but just, like, what floor. That's hilarious. She probably wouldn't have been there when I was there. Like, I was there 5 years ago. Imagine if she was. Imagine if we were neighbors. I hope she never heard me, like, having sex. Mortis, you said, like, I take anxiety, depression meds, right? Even with the meds, I would literally rather climb Mount Everest than approach a woman or have intimacy. Then go climb, put your money where your mouth is. Everyone, can we get in chats? Can we get in the chat? Is there an emoji for a mountain? I'm going to look this up. Can we get some emojis in there? There is. There's a mountain emoji. There you go. There's that one. Put your money where your mouth is, champ. Come on. Go climb Mount Everest. Come on. We want to see you climb. Yeah, Mortis climber. Come on. We want to see you climb Mount Everest, dude. You can't be saying shit like this and then not have us call you out. Go climb Mount Everest, brother. I just saw that someone climbed it without oxygen recently, which is the first human who's ever done that, I think. They climbed all the way to the top and then they skied all the way down. Adriel says, Andy, have you ever climbed a mountain? Define mountain. Like, I've gone hiking. I don't know if you'd call that a mountain. Like, there have been mountains that I've hiked up, so, like, I guess so. But I haven't, like, climbed Everest or some wild shit like that, so. But yeah, Mortis, go climb a mountain. But to give you, like, an actual serious answer, you're basically saying here, like, I have all this anxiety and I'd rather do all this other stuff. Do you wanna just, like, not date women, man? Like, I know you're in a community where lots of other people are dating women, but, like, you don't have to. Like, we had a guy come a couple of days ago who was like, "Cold approach is dead, and you guys are all, like, fucking lying, and cold approach sucks," and I was just like, "Cool, man, like, what do you wanna do instead?" And he was like, "Okay, well, I like going hiking, and I like traveling," and I was like, "Sick, man, like, why don't you do some of that shit?" Like, you don't have to hit on women. Like, the world doesn't fall apart if you don't have a woman. I know you want one, but like Mortis, what I think you really want more than anything else is to be exactly where you are right now. I think if you were honest with yourself, you'd be like, yeah, I'm really comfortable. It feels really good to be in this like weird spiral cycle of pain and suffering. There's a weird pleasure and a payoff in being a victim. And I'm not saying that to you to like call you out or something, but like it's more just like an honesty thing. Like you're really comfortable where you are right now, even though you keep telling us how uncomfortable you are. But there's a weird, almost like validation to being in an uncomfortable position, to being like, my life sucks and it's not fair and I'm in this hell. And like it kind of gets you like a lot of comfort, gets you attention. Like you're definitely posting in the chat way more than anyone else, and like there's a certain spotlight that gets shone on us when we're in a lot of pain and we tell everyone about it. It's almost like a cry for some, like, I don't want to say attention, man, because that doesn't sound kind. But it's like we're searching for some love. We just want someone to fucking recognize us and see us. But brother, we see you. We see you. Like we see you better than you see yourself, man. Like we're probably more aware of you than you're self-aware about yourself, dude. You want some women in your life. You desperately want to be loved. You want the validation. You're really scared of like actually going and doing it. And so you're really comfortable and stuck where you are right now. You keep labeling yourself as broken and unfixable. You're not quite willing to do all the things that everybody else does to improve because you want to be a special case. You want to be the person who's like, yeah, but that works for all of you. I'm extra fucked up. Meanwhile, everyone else who says, I'm extra fucked up, eventually realizes, wait, no, I'm not. And then they just go and take the action. Like, again, there's a really big payoff in being like the special exception to self improvement, but still hanging out in a self improvement circle. It's almost like there's an arrogance to it where you're almost like hanging. And I'm not saying that you're meaning to be arrogant, but there is a certain arrogance in saying, hey, all of you guys doing scary things like Mr. 3447, who came on and was very vulnerable, Chad sending his art, more to, was it you actually? It was you that sent your fucking song. I think that was you. Like there's a lot of people here taking action and shit. And there's almost like a weird feeling of like, yeah, I guess arrogance of like, but I'm almost worse than all of you, and that's like a weird form of like I'm special. Like I'm special because I can't do like Xander's gone out there and just approached like 1,600 women. It's like, yeah, but that's Xander. Like I can't do that. Like, and Xander would be the first person to tell you, like, bro, what the fuck? Yes, you can. Or like Brady saying, you just got to be consistent, making YouTube videos and building all of that. And you're like, yeah, but I can't be consistent. And Brady would be like, yes, you can. Like there's almost a specialness to it, man. And again, not calling you out or anything, but at the same time, I guess also kind of calling you out. Like our brains just want to be special, bro. Anyway, go climb a mountain. Adriel says to me, like hiking up a mountain doesn't count, has to be an official mountain. But what if what I climbed is called a mountain, like Mount Tambourine or something? Isn't that a mountain? Like that counts as a mountain. Like what counts as a mountain? If it's called a mountain, if I go on Google Maps and it says Mount this or mountain this, and I climbed up the top of it, isn't that climbing a mountain? Mike says, does a really tall girl count, or are we talking literal mountains? Your mum is a literal mountain. I'm joking. Your mother's a lovely woman. I take that back, okay? Xander says, Mortis, it's really not that hard, I swear. Just do one. Find one woman sitting by herself, walk up and say, hi, I thought you were cute. I wanted to say hi. It is that simple. Yeah, but our brain wants to make it into a big, scary thing. Like, our brains always like to make things big and scary because it's just like a fear of the unknown. But the people who've done it, like Xander's done it a stupidly, ridiculously high amount of times, and I have too. Like, we'll just tell you, like, it's not that scary, man. Like, it feels scary, but it's not that scary. Mike says, how dare you? Hey, excuse me. I said your mother is a beautiful woman. I said she's a wonderful person, and she raised you, so she has to be a beautiful person. Xander says nothing bad will happen. I've done it over 1,000 times. You'll be amazed how easy it was after you've done it. Yeah, like the only like quote unquote bad thing that I ever had happen ever was like one woman told me to fuck off, but it was so funny because it just came out of nowhere. And she's like, fuck off. And I was just like so confused by that that I kind of like giggled. And then I was like, no, you fuck off. And then she was like, no, you fuck off. And I was like, no, you fuck off. And she's like, no, you fuck off. And I was like, no, you fuck off. And then I left. Like, and that was funny. That was weird and funny. That's like the only like quote unquote negative thing I've ever had happen, like ever. I've had some people ignore me and stuff, like they just don't respond to you, but like then they walk off and they leave. You feel a bit awkward for a second, and that's it. I've like never had another guy come over and be like, "How dare you talk to my girl? How dare you talk?" I've even hit on some girls that then their boyfriend comes in and then I noticed them together, and I'm like, "Oh, are you guys dating? Are you?" I didn't realize she had a boyfriend. And then I reach out and I shake the guy's hand and I say, "Sorry, man." And then he shakes my hand, and then I'm like, "I hope you have a nice day, man." And then he's like, "Yeah, bro, you too." And then I leave. Like, if anything, he's probably like, "Wow, that guy was cool." Like, what a respectful guy looking me in the fucking eyes and shaking my hand and saying, "Sorry, man, I didn't realize she had a girlfriend." That's fucking respectful. Like, he's gonna be like, "Yeah, that guy's cool." So yeah, nothing bad happens. Adriel says, Oi, Andy, how do you manage that comfort with gratitude? I find it hard to differentiate between I'm happy and I appreciate my life with it's so nice and comfortable and I don't need to do anything. I mean, if you're happy and nice and comfortable, like, do you have to invent a reason to be unhappy? That just sounds peaceful. Like, I guess I don't really have a great answer to that. It just sounds like sometimes you're peaceful and grateful. I am too. I guess sometimes you'll have that little internal voice that's like, okay, I want to do a little bit more. Like, I feel like I have some goals I want to achieve or some productivity things I want to do today. Then great, go do them and be grateful for them while you do them. Like, it's not one or the other. You know what I mean? Like, you can be very grateful and very comfortable while also taking action. I have an incredibly like peaceful, like comfortable, if we want to call it that, life. But I also take like a hell of a lot of action. Like I'm on these live streams for what, 2 hours? And then after this, I'm going to go on a couple more coaching calls with other people today for like several hours each. I'm going to spend probably 2 or 3 hours coaching all my clients in my like VIP coaching program. At some point, I'm going to do a video for the Abundance Collective, my other coaching program. Like I'm going to do a whole lot today, but I'm also like very comfortable and full of gratitude today. So you can be quite comfortable while also taking action. Action doesn't have to be the opposite of comfort at all. Yeah, like Chad said, sometimes we get stuck in these traps of like everyone else can self improve, but I'm so special, I can't do any of it. I did a video on this. I think it was called like depression is the ultimate form of arrogance. I would know. I used to be depressed myself. Yeah, 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 yeah. So you can just search on my channel for like depression, and it's this video here at the top. Literally, depression can be a form of arrogance. I would know. I was depressed for 8 years. And I talk about how, yeah, a lot of the time we're very depressed and we think that we're special and we think that we're a unique, fucked up case and everybody else can go to a therapist, but not me. A therapist would just laugh at me and mock me because I'm extra fucked up. Or everybody else can reach out for help, but not me. I'm too much of a burden. Everyone else is nowhere near as much of a burden as me. Even the people that are depressed and suicidal. I'm extra depressed and extra suicidal. Like, we can definitely get caught up in that. And that isn't to like mock anyone's pain or anything, but yeah, depression can definitely be like a form of specialness. And you definitely see that in like incel communities and black pill. Like basically the entire black pill is a bunch of people who are like hurting. They're genuinely in a lot of pain. And the way that they cope with that is by saying, I'm special. Like, I'm extra fucked up. I wasn't born with good genetics. Therefore, like, why should I improve? Even if I did improve, it wouldn't make a difference. And so it's like literally a form of specialness. Everybody else, not everyone, but a lot of other people, meanwhile, are busy like improving and actually putting in the work and doing the effort, which can be uncomfortable and requires you to have some humility and actually take action. Like, taking action isn't always easy. And so sometimes it is very comforting and a lot easier to just say, like, I'm black pill or I'm an incel, so I can't change anything. Why should I bother? But yeah, it's just like a form of specialness. Mike says, go climb a mountain seems like a politically correct way of telling someone to get fucked, mate. Kind of does. Hey, go climb a mountain. It reminds me of like go touch grass, go outside and touch grass. Adriel says, have you climbed Mount Tambourine? Yes. So does that count? Have I climbed a mountain? Am I worthy? Am I worthy of your praise? Shafted says, this I can't sound so childish. I always think how awful I'd feel if I had a child and said something like that in front of him. There's a scene there's a scene in the Will Smith movie, The Pursuit of Happiness, where he literally says that his kid is like, I want to be a famous basketballer. And he's like, nah, you can't. Like, it won't work. You're not good enough for that. And then he immediately realizes what he just said to his child. And he's like, hey, I'm sorry. Please don't let anyone ever tell you that you can't do something. Like, yeah, you're basically talking about like limiting beliefs. Yeah, the word I can't. Something that helps a lot with the word I can't is to realize that there is no I can't. If you had a gun, if I was to put a gun to your head and say, I will kill you unless you talk to a woman, could you do it? Yes. So it's not that you can't, it's that you're not willing. And that isn't a judgment. Like, you don't have to then go like, oh, look at me, I'm lazy. Like, no, 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 no. It's not a value judgment, but it is a truthful statement. So rather than saying I can't, it's easier to say I won't, or I'm choosing not to, or I just don't want to. Like, you can even embrace that with peace. And instead of feeling guilty about like, I can't, or like it's too hard, you can just say, no, I don't think I want to do that. I don't feel like putting in the effort and the work to overcome the fear and to overcome the anxiety. So I'm just going to peacefully choose not to do it. And I'm going to go do other cool things in my life. Like, you can peacefully choose not to do something, but saying I can't is literally a false statement. Like, it is straight up a false statement. Really, the correct statement is I don't think I can. That's the accurate statement. Or I don't really want to. Or it just seems really scary and I'm not sure that I want to overcome the fear. But saying it like that is that's reasonable and respectful. People would be like, yeah, fair enough. Like, you don't have to overcome your fears. That's why I say to lots of you guys, like, like Mortis, you're the best example of this, like at this point in time. When you say, like, I can't talk to women, I say to you all the time, like, man, if you don't want to talk to women, you don't have to. Then just tell us what other goals you have and we'll help you with those. Like that guy that came into the chat the other week and said, cold approach is dead. I don't want a cold approach. And we were just like, cool, man. Like, what do you want to work on then? Let's help you with those other goals. Like, you guys don't have to talk to women. Like, there's more than just women on the planet. There's a bunch of other things that can bring you some happiness and joy and give you some challenges in life and all of that. If you don't want to do something, just tell us the thing you do want to do and we'll help you with that. Like, to be very clear, this is not a getting laid community. I know it's the thing that a lot of you care about the most, but this is like a self improvement community. Whatever goals you have or whoever you want to be, then we'll help you with that shit. Martin, hello. I believe this is the first time you've been on the stream, my friend. Says, at the moment, I listen to this live stream and study at the same time. How? How do you even do that? I don't know how you're doing that, but I'm very impressed. I could not do two things at the same time. I could not even be remotely productive while listening to a live stream. Chad says, I can't is just I don't want to. Yeah, and saying I don't want to is like a statement that doesn't have to come with any guilt. You can just own it and be like, no, I don't really want to do that. Like there are lots of things that people will suggest to me with business or with like coaching. Like somebody recommended the other day that I reach out to like a really big YouTuber. I can't remember which one, but like some big YouTuber with like millions of followers. And the brain immediately goes, oh, I can't do that. My channel's too small and all of that. And I stopped and I thought about it and I was like, okay, do I want to put in the effort to like reach out to this person and write like a really good pitch of how I could be great for their podcast and all of that? And I thought about it and I was like, I think I want to do that eventually, but not right now. And so I just owned that. I was like, yeah, I don't want to do that right now. Maybe I'll do it in the future. Maybe I'll have more free time after all these live streams and I reach out. Maybe I never do it. I don't know. But I don't want to do it right now. So you just own that decision to not want to, and then everything you're doing in your life is because you want to. Like you're just going in the direction of doing what you want. And it doesn't have to come with this like falsehood of like, I can't. Because again, I can't is like literally not a true statement. Mortis, you said, like, if I was literally shot if I can't get laid. Yeah, if I had a gun to your head and said, I will literally kill you unless you go and say hi to a woman, you'd probably immediately be like, "Oh, I can't." And then if I fired a shot in the air and then the fucking bits of the ceiling fall down and then I put it back to your head and you felt like the warm, like burning hot end of the gun, and I said, "Go talk to that girl." And then you'd be like, "Oh, I can't." And then if I don't know, shot on the ground next to you and you start freaking out, I'd be like, "Next one's going in your head, champ." You'd probably go and talk to the girl. You might be really afraid, but you'd probably go talk to the girl. And by the way, I'm not going to do that to any of you. Like, I know that's a very violent metaphor, but it gets the point across that it's not that you can't, it's just that you're afraid. As Chad says very like succinctly, of course you can do this. There's no need to be afraid of 165 centimeters. Maybe in your country, bro. In my country, they're all little midgets. Here, they're all like 150 centimeters. Girls are so small and cute. 165 centimeters of meats and bones that make noises. Yeah, women are way more scared of you than you are of them. Especially because you're a fucking stranger that just came to hit on her, and women are like inherently almost always thinking about safety when it comes to men, whereas you guys don't really think of safety, and we don't think of safety as much as a man. So yeah, man, like they're just cute little like, just go be nice to women. They're so I just wanna cuddle women. They're so fucking sweet, and they're so nice, and most of them are so scared of men, and they're so insecure, and they're so desperate to just have some fucking love and validation just like you want, Mortis. So go be nice to a woman. Go look after her. Go give her a little fucking cuddle. Give her a kiss on the forehead. I saw this girl I just started seeing a girl again, like a girl that I hadn't seen for several years. I could tell that story at some point. But she hit me up after several years of just like dating other people and shit. And she's like, "Hey, what are you doing, Andy?" And I was like, "Oh my God, it's you." And so we met up. And as soon as I fucking saw her, I'd already told her how brave she had been by reaching out to me, risking rejection. Like it takes a lot of balls to reach out to someone that you haven't seen for several years and literally ask them if they want to date you again. Like that takes a fair amount of courage. And so as soon as we met, I said, "Come here." And I took her head in my hands and I gently pulled her head down and I kissed her on the forehead, like little soft kiss on the forehead. And I said, "That's for being such a brave girl." And she giggled like a little kid. It was adorable. But yeah, girls are so sweet, man. Like, give them some love, look after them. You know, I think that's one of the things I really like about being a man is that we are stronger, we are usually bigger, and so, like, I almost like to take it as our responsibility if we want to. You don't have to, but I like to take it as my responsibility to like look after women, to be nice to them. I like to look after people or things or whatever that are like smaller and maybe a bit more anxious. And so, Mortis, I know you're focused on your own anxiety and fears, and I get that, man. But like, the more you do this, the more you're going to realize like women are way more fucking scared and anxious, or every bit as anxious and scared as you. And if you take on that role of like, I'm going to be nice to them, I'm going to look after them, it gets you out of your own head because then you're like the caretaker or the caregiver. You're like that beautiful patriarchy that all the feminists like complain about. But patriarchy is a fucking beautiful thing, man. Like masculinity is this nice energy where we want to take care of things that are smaller than us or scared or whatever. So yeah, just go be nice to some girls, man. Adriel says, will you get an AI girlfriend? Why would I need an AI girlfriend? I have all of you. Mortis says, I really do like women in that sense. Yeah, man, they're sweet. They're nice. Like, for the most part, like 99%, maybe 98% of women are really nice. I know there's some women out there that are not nice and they're unkind, just like there's some dudes out there that are not kind and not nice, but like 98% of humanity are pretty nice. All right, guys, I think we will start wrapping up. Mortis, I didn't read it out before, but I read through a lot of the stuff. Like you wrote out all your responses to the hopeless questions. Thank you for writing them out. I read them, but I just didn't read them out. But yeah, I appreciate all of you guys sharing. Thank you for the fabulous questions. Thank you, Mr. 3447, for jumping on the stream with us and talking through some of your fears, dude. Absolute legend. Thank you, those of you who sent some art. And Mortis, I saw that you sent your music. I'll probably listen to it and we'll play it tomorrow. You guys are all absolute legends. Appreciate all of you very much. Let's start getting some salutes in the chat. Let me get mine ready. Today, I reckon we put as many salutes in the chat as we feel like. So if you guys want to spam and put 72,000, there you go. I'll go first. I'm just going to fucking blah. I'm just going to spam this shit. We need like 72,000 salutes in the chat. There we go. All right, guys, I will see you tomorrow. It's been a pleasure. You guys are absolute legends. I hope you have a fabulous day, morning, evening, afternoon, night, or whatever it might be, wherever you are. If you're inexperienced, maybe you're even a virgin, you've probably been sitting around trying really hard to lose it and give yourself that beautiful, amazing sex life that you've always wanted. It's time to actually do this thing for real. Here's just a little taste of some of what we've helped our inexperienced clients achieve. Theo lost his virginity, had a bunch of sex, and even participated in an orgy. Ed was a 31-year-old virgin with extreme erectile dysfunction. He's since gone on to have a wildly abundant sex life and is now a coach alongside me in our coaching program. We helped Ravi lose his virginity at age 30 and go on to build the type of amazing sex life he never dreamed was possible. Jeff hadn't had sex in 9 years and ended up having sex within just 5 weeks of coaching. No matter what your experience level, if having more sex and having more wildly abundant, awesome, amazing sexual experiences with your intimate partner is something that's important to you, let us help. That's what we're here for. There's a link in the description below to the coaching. Click that and come and join us. But I promise you, if these clients can do it, you absolutely sure as hell can too.